Now, Coach, Broncos coming off a close loss at Bowling Green, another excellent defensive performance.
Yep.
Just give us your thoughts on last week's game.
Yeah, I was extremely impressed again, with the defense and the way they played. I mean, that's to hold the team to 13 points, and that's even misleading a little bit. I mean, they had a kick return on the touchdown drive down to the, 12, 15, something like that. So, the veteran unit, Coach Espo and his staff and those players doing a great job holding people low. And, and then the opposite side of the coin is the other side where we're young and figuring stuff out. And we gotta find ways to find points, but yeah, watching those guys play and fly around, get the ball back, got turnovers, it's really hard to do in today's game. And it's been such an offensive-driven game. This year you see points getting lower. I think defenses are catching up a little bit, and our defense has done a phenomenal job of keeping us in every game and making it a close game.
Talking more about the defense, he was a guy you brought up a couple times during camp. Wasn't a starter to start the season, but when Deshaun Bussell went out, Kai Lovely steps in, and he's a guy that you just said needed to get out there.
Yeah.
What have you seen out of him and his progression throughout the season?
I mean, he's just the same guy every day. He's been one of our better cover guys since he's been here. His biggest issue, I always say, he's got the heart of a lion. He's had it for years, and he used to weigh like 165 pounds, and he would throw his body. I remember Toledo, he came up and threw his body into a guy and hurt his shoulder, and we just needed to get his weight up. We've been trying, and I think age and metabolism slowing down has helped him. His body weight's up, and now he can tackle. He's actually done a great job when he's got in the box a couple times. And, we do production scores, and he had one of the most productive games last week as a defensive player that we've ever had. And didn't even play the whole game because he's nursing an injury and kind of was in and out, just trying to rest it. And but man, he can cover, and I think he's confident. He's in good positions, and he's waited a long time for his opportunity, and it's happened. He's taken advantage of it. It's fun to see.
Second game and second start for Trayson Bourget. What have you seen through his maturation over the last couple weeks?
Well, I definitely think I think he was better in game 2 than game 1. We gave him a little bit more. The one thing I think that we saw that was a positive is watching him, work the pocket. Dropping him back, giving him, a multi-layered read, and him buying time. The throw late in the game down the field to Corey Crooms was not his first read, but he went through the progression. Still made some young mistakes, which we're battling through. We gotta be patient. What I mean by that is every week, you got to see growth. And he took us down the field at the end. I really liked mentally where he was at to get one more drive and take us down, put us in position. We didn't finish it off, but for an 18-year-old, I think he did a great job. He's getting more and more comfortable. We're going to continue to need to see growth from him, but pretty good first 2 games. We got to find ways to be more explosive, and we're going to hopefully continue to see more and more out of him. That helps us obviously when your quarterback's playing at a high level.
What are some specific maybe next steps that you can reasonably expect Trayson to make, in his third, what could be his third start of the season?
Yeah, it's, I would say the biggest thing would be, we have not dropped him back a ton, and we did that late in the game, and I thought he handled it fairly well. Now we're not going to become a drop-back team by any means, but, when you have a guy that can handle progressions and work a pocket and use his legs when he needs to, which he did really well in the game, actually. It just gives you more confidence to throw the ball a little bit more, to drop him back in some of those situations. We still got to run the ball, control the clock. We have a great defense and make sure we're being smart with those things. But he's really – the game will slow down for him. It's hard for me. I mean, I went 0-9 my first 9, and I ended up throwing for 11,000 yards. And Zach Terrell started 1-11 his first 12 games. So it's tough. It's a grind. He's battling through it. He's, for the most part, taking care of the ball. I mean, he held the one ball, and he threw his first pick, bounced back and threw his first touchdown, which I was good to see his response to his first real big negative play. But, just as you see the game slow down, he's going to make more decisions. Early on in the game, he did not make he didn't make a ton of bad decisions, but he wasn't aggressive with some of the decision making we put in his. And at halftime, that was our conversation: is I want you to be aggressive with these decisions. And I thought he did a way better job in the second half than the first half. And so that was a big part of his growth is how aggressive he's being, how much confidence he has, and it seems to be growing. And this week in practice, it grew a little bit more.
Will he be starting this week?
That's the plan. Yeah, give him a shot. I think he's done a good job taking care of the ball for the most part, and Jack had a good week of practice too. So I was happy that one pick didn't turn into two. And he still he didn't get scared with the ball either and start taking what you see it in the NFL. I watched a couple games. I saw some clips yesterday of guys that once they made a mistake, they didn't want to throw a ball in any kind of traffic again, so they end up just taking sack after sack after sack. And Trayson's continued to have confidence and throw the ball in small windows, and hit a couple of big ones to Crooms, which I thought were great throws. And we need him to continue to make sure he's comfortable with, because you got to throw the ball in windows. There's going to be people there, and he does have great anticipation, which is a needed skill, and it comes naturally to him, and it's helping him really early on in his career have a little bit of success, or really just being able to manage us, and then we have to push the envelope to get him to make plays to help us win a game.
Trayson, as far as games played goes, is kind of right on that borderline of burning a red shirt if he finishes out the season playing in every game. Is that something that you're concerned with? Are you maybe looking to not use him for 5 games if possible?
Yeah, we've discussed it. We haven't made any kind of decisions. Our job is to win this game. And we'll discuss next week. Next week, Trayson's all on board with that. We got a couple of freshmen. We got a lot of young guys on offense. We got one senior, and he's an old lineman, and the rest are freshmen and sophomores up there. So we have a very unique opportunity to play a game this Wednesday, and we want to win it. And so we have discussed it. No decisions have been made. We're focused on one game at a time, but that's going to come up. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the kid and his future and the future of the program, and make sure that we're doing what's best for both.
The tight end room has seen some injuries this year. Can you give us an update on Blake Bosma and just kind of who are the healthy
Who's
guys
left?
in that room? Yeah.
We got one, Bartol. He's our one tight end right now. Caden Morris might be back. He's been out for a couple weeks. We're hoping he's close. Bosma, I would give him a doubtful. He hasn't practiced, but his strength is coming back. But I don't think so. And other than, that's really what we got. I'm sure you saw last week we moved Brandon. From our freshman offensive lineman was playing tight end. He's been doing that for about 2 weeks now. He's doing a good job, putting his hand down and blocking. So that's one of the most intriguing parts about this week's game is, when you're down to one tight end, maybe 2 and a half. Brandon's a half, I think. Does a great job with his hand down blocking, but he's not a pass threat. We have to be able to run our offense and find ways with the injuries we have. Seem to be all at one position, and so we've discussed it with our team and what our plan is, and they've had a good week of practice. But it's definitely going to be has to be a little bit different just because of I think we have 6 tight ends on the roster and 1 healthy, so it's just the way it goes sometimes, and you have to be creative, and we have a good plan, and we got to go out there and roll it out on Wednesday night.
Who's going to be calling plays this week?
Coach Evans he's upstairs, and I'll continue to try to be involved more and more and more, and but that's been the way we've been doing it, with the translation. It's the biggest thing, is being able to translate. For me, my verbiage to what our players know, and Coach Evans he's a great translator. He knows both systems and both verbiages. It's the same plays, and so when I tell him what I need, he can get it out. And when I don't have something necessarily I want, I let him call it. So I think he called a pretty good game. We got to execute better. We got to get better at all levels. That's our job. We don't shy away from the the ownership of not finding a way. I know we're young, blah, 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 all that stuff. That's not – no one wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that. We got to find ways to get better. And if we have to change some of the things we're doing, we have to change some of the things we're doing because of injury. But we got to find ways to get some points with our defense playing the way they are. It's our job.
This Northern Illinois defense turned Central Michigan over 4 times last week. What can you guys do as coaches to, put your players in position to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, ball security drills, talk about it. I know Sean was frustrated. That turnover last week hurt us, obviously. We were just getting into the red zone, and that was a swing point in the game. But we got to take care of it. The one team that I thought was one of the best teams was Miami, Ohio. We talked about it. We did extra drills in practice. Did it again this week. I just think this defense plays really hard. They fly around to the ball, and they're big up front, physical. They've always been physical. It's a Northern Illinois defense I think their defensive coordinator does a phenomenal job. They've always made it hard, on offenses, and nothing's changed this year. They're in every game once again because of their defense. Offensively, they're dealing with things like we are. I don't know. I think they played 3-4 different quarterbacks trying to figure out what's going on. They have injuries, and they're trying to piece that side together like we are. But, man, that defense, you turn the film on, and they're flying around making plays. We got to do a good job. Trayson's got to take care of the ball. All quarterbacks that are in there have to take care of the ball. And when we run the ball, every time we get tackled, there's going to be multiple people arriving quickly. And it's normally, a lot of times, the second guy in that makes that play. And we've done a decent job. Other than the picks, we've done a decent job wide receiver-wise and tight end-wise. And Sean, other than last week, I thought he's really had a couple good weeks of ball security. And so we need to get back to where there's 0 turnovers, and that helps our defense, that helps our team, and that's the best way to stay in the game and win one.
Ladarius Jefferson, is he going to be back this week?
No, still suspended.
On the roster, though?
On the roster. He's suspended indefinitely right now.
Still on the team?
Yeah.
Aliasa Anderson, looks like he's not on the roster anymore. Can you talk about what?
That was like 3 weeks ago. He was, wanted to try one more time. He retired basically. So, we had a long, great talk about, what he's going to do, his degree, and getting a job, and he wasn't playing a ton. So yeah, that's what he's doing now. We wish him the best.
This Northern Illinois team, like you mentioned, has had some injury struggles. Not a MAC contender like they were last year. What do you kind of expect to see from a team that's you got to think is going to be hungry for a win on Wednesday? Yeah,
they're going to play like a Northern Illinois team. Coach Hammock, they won it a year ago. The year before that, they didn't win a game. So it's you're going to have a hungry team that wants to turn the page. And when you're struggling, when you're grinding, the persistence is everything. You never know how close you are to breaking through unless you stop, unless you quit. And that's one thing I'm most impressed with our guys. They keep showing up and working, and I know they're frustrated with the performance offensively as we are, and we're working hard to make those changes, and defensively to continue to show up the way they have. They're hungry, and just keep on keeping on. Half of being successful is showing up day after day, and we've been doing that. We've been preaching that, and I know their defense has been showing up week after week, and so they're gonna come in here and they're gonna be flying around like they always have, and obviously both offenses are gonna try to figure out ways to hold on to the ball and find a way to get in this in the end zone, and I think special teams can make a big, when you have teams that are very similar, special teams can play a huge portion. So we've been focusing on that, and we're excited. The guys are excited to just get back out there and have another chance, probably be another close game like most MAC games are, and we got to make enough plays to win.